That's good. And remember that after every event, then normally on Monday or Tuesday, we normally send the recording together with the presentation to your email. So I don't think that you need to request me to make any record. Okay, so we will send that normally after 1 or 2 days. Now, let's start to the event where I want to review the recent questions that came during the November exam for Alpha 1. As you know, I may have presented that before with the Alpha 1 event, where you can see that Alpha 1 from November onward, it only has 4 questions, unlike from July backward. For before July, from July backward, then Alpha One has 5 questions, but from November 2024 onward, then there will be only 4, and each question still represents a chapter, and we may need to look at each question individually. So, but before that, I have a few notes for you. If you are planning to do anything, you are planning to write any constructed response exam in the March 2025. Okay, before I go into the details of the 4 questions, then let's talk a little bit about how we can write Alpha 1. Alpha 1 is a pretty academic module where you need to write about some key theories and the key contributors, and you may need to make some quotation or reference to those theories and contributors. The style of writing would be, you can see that from my screen, where you need to list the name of the contributors and their key ideas. The thing is, our memory is quite limited, and furthermore, just like with other SIP exam, Alpha 1 exam is also a closed book exam. Therefore, you need to recall everything by your own, and you don't have any access to any documents or materials during the exam. So, during the revision, you need to learn and potentially try to remember a few key contributors in each topic and then write them in the exam. Since the study guide is pretty big and vast, and our memory is not like a computer, so remember everything is impossible. However, you may try to recall a few key contributors and their ideas. Okay, we don't need to score 100% or something very perfect to pass the exam. You only need to be you only need to get 50% to pass the exam. So an average writing would be okay. And second, just like with any written exam, you need to pay attention to your available time. Uh, from November 2024 onward, then L5 M1 exam has 4 questions with 3 hours or 180 minutes. Therefore, approximately you have 45 minutes per question. So you need to pay close attention to your clock. Okay, it appears on the top right corner of the exam screen, and it is next to an exam button. So after some time, like after 30 seconds or after 1 minute, you need to look at the clock, or after a while, after a paragraph, you need to look at the clock to balance your approach, and you should not focus too much on a single question and ignore other. that would be pretty suicidal, and that may reduce your chance of passing the exam. Now, after a few notes, I would like to come back with the four questions that came in November exam. So today is the 1st of December, and November exam is already the past. So we may talk about this quite comfortably. There are four questions in November exam. The first question is about the contemporary approaches. And as I can recall from the exam, this question just require you to describe or analyze the two approaches, two contemporary approaches. In a study guide, we have four, but you only need to explain two. The second question is about the methods to motivate a team. Exactly. Okay. Although the second chapter is about managing the individual and there is a part about motivation. Uh, but in this question number two, they asked how to motivate a team. Okay. And they gave you a scenario. So the thing is, you need to connect the dots. You need to connect between the theories that you see from study guide and then and the application, the actions that you may that you need to apply when it comes to uh, the scenario. The third question is about the characteristics of an effective work group or of an effective team. Again, it has a scenario. And the thing is, with this question, I think you may have two ways or two approaches for this question. Okay, I will explain that later. And the final question is about the benefits of diversity, how the workplace diversity may contribute something positive to the organization. Okay, it's quite straightforward, and you may generate some ideas about that. Okay, so let's go into the details. With the first question, if you have a new version, a new study guide from SIP in Alpha 1, you may see that there are some changes to this part. In the older study guide, in 2018 study guide, they have four approaches as I'm showing on my screen. Social technical system, system approach, contingency approach, and postmodernism. With the new study guide, they add a few, or they just move human relations from the classical to the contemporary. Okay, so not quite big change. Anyway, then you can follow either the 2018 study guide or 2024 study guide. Okay, it depends. So with this question, I can recall that they just asked you to analyze two contemporary approaches that may two contemporary approaches to measurement, and you may select any two from the list. Okay, so if you know anything, if you remember any approach, then it's good, and you can try to describe them or analyze them during the exam. And for your convenience, then I would like to re-explain these four approaches together. So for each approach, I think we may need to have some general discussion about them. Like first, about how they are conceived. Second, what are the key principles or what are the key philosophies behind these approaches? And third, the application of the approach to modern day or to your measurement every day. Okay, so let's go into the details of each approach. With first, social technical system. This approach derived from an experiment by Trist and Bamford, where they see that the team with older technology, more outdated technology, still outperformed the team with better technologies. And they have a conclusion that social dynamics and group interaction also contribute to the overall efficiency as much as technology. But sometimes it could be even more crucial matter. So with social technical system, then the application here is that the organization should not pay attention or should not apply the latest technology only, but they also need to enhance and improve the social interaction and social dynamics within the organization and within each group. And the productivity also social matters, social relationships, and the motivation, everything, soft skill may also contribute to the overall productivity. Therefore, there are some other ideas like from Foster that is about the organizational transformation and improvement should focus on interpersonal relationship rather than just technologies. So with this approach, then it is important to note that the social interaction, social and interpersonal relationship also contribute to the productivity as much as, and sometimes even more than the technology. Therefore, the organization should pay attention to both sides, not just the technology one, but also in the relationship. Second, we have the system approach. This one is suggested not by a manager, but by a scientist. And with this approach, then one can assume that the organization is a complex system with multiple parts, subsystem, processes, and the relationship between them. And the thing is, uh, anyone or any manager cannot understand an organization by just looking at each part separately, but by examining the uh, interplay, interdependence, and interrelationship between the system, subsystem, processes, and the relationship between them. So with this approach, then it has some key implication on the organization. Like we need to encourage the cross-functional work to improve the more holistic approach or more comprehensive view over the organization. And it also encourage the collaboration and the a perspective of multiple people, multiple employees. And with any change initiative, the organization should approach that with the more comprehensive method. They should not think about just improve the technology or just to apply a new way of measurement within the organization. They need to build a system, or they may need to develop the system based on what is existing within the organization. And any change that is incompatible with the current system may fail and or lead to the organizational failure. Okay, so that is system approach where we need to be more um, holistic, comprehensive about the change and about how we understand a single problem within the organization. Okay, most problems within the organization could be systemic. Therefore, we need to look at it like a system in a more comprehensive way. The third approach is contingency. With contingency, then the philosophy here is that each organization is designed and created under different type of environment, and it has different type of challenges. Therefore, there's no best way to build the organization, but the organization should, or the managers should create the solution based on the specific environment factors that it is facing. There are a lot of consideration when we design or create some processes for the organization. And there are some factors like how the organization interacts with the external environment, what are the conditions within the environment, what are the objectives of the organization, and the availability of the skills, so, and also the resources that the organization have, etc. Therefore, there's no best way, but the organization should build itself based on what it has, based on what it has, and based on what it wants to achieve. So, to build the more efficient organization, then we may need to adapt some kind of agility here. Then we need to embrace the ever-changing environment and also apply it in the organization. Or you may rely on the STAR model from Gabriel, where he suggested five methods, five variable when it comes to uh, creating an organization, like about strategy, structure, process, rewards, and people. Okay, so each element here interplay with other, and we may have a lot of sub variable here where we may need to build different things to meet with the uh, environmental challenges and meet the objective of the organization. Okay, I see a question from Uma Jerima. Does working in silos contradict the system approach? Yes, of course. It actually contradicts the system approach. Siloed communication is a challenge when it comes to system approach. When it comes to system approach, it prevents an individual to look at the organization in more holistic way. I see a question from iPhone 10. I use the human relation approach in as one of the answer in this question. Is this wrong? Um, okay, so can you tell me your name before I address your question? I already see that you join this event with iPhone 10, not with your real name. Okay, thank you, Paul. Right, Paul. Then, as you know, earlier this year, SIP just released a new set of study guide for level 5. And if you look at the syllabus for level 5, even the new one, then you can see that the contemporary approach now also include human relation as well. I can demonstrate that this way. This way, I need to search for SIP new level 5 syllabus. Sorry, I just have a short period of disconnection. Okay, let's come back here. And you may see that with level 5, they have a small change. And poll, don't worry, your answer still count because now human relation is counted as a contemporary approach. Right. So you see that with the new syllabus, then contemporary approaches appeared in 1.3, in part 1.3. So we have 6 approaches in total: social technical, system, contingency, postmodernism, just like the other one. Then we have human relations, measurement, and distributed leadership. Right. So don't worry, human relations still count here. And with the answer from SIP, I know that they okay, so the student may use either the older study guide or the newer study guide for the revision. So human relation in the new syllabus is the contemporary approach and it still counts. So don't worry, you are still correct. As long as you don't mention about something like scientific measurement or bureaucracy. Right, let's come back. And so you may select either any two and combination of two approaches within those 6 that you can see from the new syllabus. All right, so don't worry. And finally, we have the postmodernism. Well, with postmodernism, then it is an attempt to deny the modernism approach. It means that postmodernism brings a lot of skepticism to the perspective here. They assume that there's no such thing as truth, and everything depends on the perspective. And the progress doesn't lead to right, like more convenient or better life, but it can also lead to destruction and oppression. So postmodernism is quite skeptical about everything. Therefore, with if we use this approach in managing the organization, they may have some implication, like we need to question everything and respect the perspective from different people, and we need to consider the impact of the progress of technology on the workers or the employees' life and their livelihood. So that is question number 1, where we have a few approaches to measurement, and they are not quite difficult. And also, you have the freedom to choose any 2 approaches as long as you know how to analyze it. With the second question, then it has a scenario and it requires you to explain or analyze some ways to motivate a team, right? So, as I said, with FIM1, you need to be quite academic. And even though they ask something very practical like that, you still need to base your answer on the recognized theory. And with motivation, we have 4 theory. We have 4 theory. Okay, the content theory, process, equity, and goal or task or attainment theory. With content theory, it means that people are motivated by getting what they want, getting their need to be satisfied. And the need here can be identified through the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So the implication here, and also the practical thing here, is that if you want to motivate a team, you need to satisfy their needs. The need could be material, could be basic, it could be about self-esteem or security and other needs. So you need to identify what are the needs of the team, and then uh, you try to satisfy them, right? But the problem is there are a few problems here. First, the organization has finite resources. Therefore, satisfying every need would be insufficient. And second, this theory doesn't consider about the performance or other matters of the workplace, and it just try to indulge the human needs. Okay, so the workers may become like lazy, or they don't want to work anymore because the every need is satisfied, and they may want to seek something else. So the content theory is insufficient, and we need to rely on other theories for other advice to motivate a team. The second theory is a process, and uh, on this theory, okay, according to this theory, then people are motivated if they see that their expectation to their expectation help them to achieve the outcome. So if they achieve something, they would expect some type reward. The reward here could be material, or could be spiritual, or anything else. And as long as the reward here correspond to their need, and also correspond to their performance and their effort. So according to this theory, then the practical thing here is that we need to design and create a reward system that that incentivize the motivation and good work from the employee. Okay, they could get some recognition, they could get some bonus payment, they could get extra annual leaves if they finish something, or if they have high performance. So with this theory, then it become more practical, and it is the thing that many managers should do. But uh, this theory is still insufficient, since it ignored the emotion, and also it doesn't look over the effort and reward relationship. Um, as I remember, the question number two, asked you to identify 4 ways to motivate the team. And I think that by the number four, they mean that you need to rely on all of the four theories. Okay, so that is one of the explanation here. Right. With the third theory, that is equality, then according to this one, the employee will be motivated when they see that their output is equal to the input. So it expands a little bit over the reward and effort. Beside the effort, there are other input of the employee, like their education, their background, okay, their long-term contribution, their loyalty to the organization, etc. So if they see that there is something they receive in return, like the benefits or the reward or some recognition, they would be appreciated, and they would be motivated. So for this one, then it expand a little bit over the effort and reward, and it suggests that as a manager, you may motivate your team by answering their input, their contribution in the long run, their input, and create a reward system that is fair and transparent for them all. And the final theory is goal or task or attainment. It has three names. With this theory, then it according to it, then people are more motivated if they are encouraged or if they achieve some a little bit challenging task. Okay, the challenge here, the level of difficulty here it is dependent on the perception and also on the ability of each individual. So with this with this theory, the practical matters, the implication here is that the manager should create the achievable and some objective for the team or for each individual so that they feel like they have a little bit challenge, but not too challenge or not too easy. So they want to achieve that, and after achieve that, they still expect some type of reward. Therefore, the implication here is that the manager should divide the big role or big task or important project into several steps and into several goals to achieve, so that each individual may know what to do and maybe more motivated to deliver the objective here. The question is about specific it is about specific action or specific suggestion for motivation. So you need to write more about how you may apply the theory and to have better implication or better application, like what manager needs to do in such scenario. Question number 3 asks about the factors, or they ask about the characteristics of a successful teamwork or an effective teamwork. There are two ways that we may there are two ways that you may approach with this question. You may either use the IPL model, IPL framework from Hackman and Morris, or it about input, process, and outcome. Or you may just write with your own uh, with your own gut instinct, like listing the factors. Okay, in study guide they also use both the two approaches. If you select the IPL model, then you need to explain like what are the factors within each factor here. Like with the input, where we have the team, the size of the team, the skills and knowledge, and the composition of the team. The access resources that the team receive from the organization. With the team process, that is the the team the team leader need to deliver that, like they need to create the communication, they need to build the trust between each member and the collaboration or decision making process. And finally, we have the outcome, include the performance, like the result, the objective, whether the objective is achieved or not, and the satisfaction or the growth and the member personal growth. One thing to note with this model is that with IPL, Hackman and Morris doesn't suggest any specific um, composition for the success here. They just create a framework to identify the key factors deciding the characteristic of a successful team. So if you want to use this model, you need to base your answer on the scenario where you need to identify where they are weak at and then you need to identify the methods to improve the performance of the team. Another way is to write about just list the factors, just like you do it normally. Like you feel that the teamwork need to have a clear sense purpose. They need to know what they need to deliver. They also need to have clear roles and responsibility. The some level of reporting, accountability, and interdependency. And they also need to get the support from the manager or from the organization, and they need to know how to overcome the conflict together. So there are two ways with this question, and depending on the preference and depending on your own memory of the study guide or any lecture, you may use either one of these approaches. And I believe that the assessor would accept any kind of approach. Sorry, any kind of approach that is correspond and deliver the best solution to the question there. All right. Here I forgot to create the question number 4. Please wait. Just a few minutes. The final question is just simply about diversity and its benefits. So diversity is about we have the combination of many people from different backgrounds, like from different religions or from different races, from different geography, etc. And although diversity may create some friction and some conflict, but in the long run, it may deliver some benefits, like it may bring the new perspective and more idea, more innovation to the organization, and it offer a wider talent pools or higher performance and have a and better brand image. It also provide with some resilience, especially when it comes to change, because people when the organization is more diverse, they tend to adapt better to external change. So with the final question, it is simply about the benefits of diversity. And you may also write about some examples of benefits as you can see from your own organization or any organization that you know. Overall, then this question is pretty simple, and I think that the better answer will include the example as well, like explaining how an organization might deliver these benefits and how they realize the benefit from diversity. as you can see, the review tend to be quite short. And if you have any question for us, here is our contact, okay, through WhatsApp, through email, and we also have a website that you may visit. All right, so the review is pretty short. Okay, I only know the 4 questions that came during November exam. And I think if you have any question, please write here, and I'm very pleased to answer that for you. Okay, I see a rising hand from Ji-san. Ji-san,
Hi, Daniel.
hello.
Thank you very much for this session. It's really good for all of the participants. I
Okay.
just say thank you to you. And regarding the last question, there's diversity.
Yes.
It's from the which chapter? Chapter 4 or chapter 5?
As I can recall, it's somewhere from chapter 5 in the older study guide, but it doesn't matter because that one would not be used again. That one will not be used again in March. And from March, then we only use the new study guide, which only has 4 chapters.
4 chapters. Okay, very clear. Very
Yeah.
clear. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, Victory, I will share everything. Don't worry. Yes, Victory.
Okay. Good morning from Nigeria. Sorry, where I am is a bit noisy because I'm in transit. What I wanted to ask, two things, okay?
Yes.
One is for the new syllabus. Will one be expected to buy a new book, or is just that they reduce the chapters? Then the second question is the paid tutorial that you have tried. Will any subscribed participant have access to recording for material? Thank you.
I'm not sure I hear clearly the second question. I know that the first question is about the structure of the new study guide, right? But I'm not sure I hear clearly about the second question. Can you explain that again?
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, the second question was that if the students subscribe to your paid tutorial, the one that starts in December, will there be recorded sessions that students can have access to for personal revision? Thank you. And then the first one is, will I have to buy a new book or or CIPS guide because of the revised syllabus? Thank you.
For the first question, yeah, the answer is yes. You need to get the new copy of the new study guide because the structure changed a lot, especially for FRM1. Okay, for other modules like FRM2, FRM3, I don't see any major change. But with FRM1, yes, it's a big change. because it's completely removed the older chapter 4 and chapter 5. And now the new chapter 4 is very new, completely new. Okay, so you need to get that new study guide if you want to answer all the questions. And even with the chapter 1, 2, and 3, they reshuffle a bit and could contain some new content in the study guide. And with the second question, if you ask about my practice question on Udemy, like what I'm publishing on Udemy right now, then regularly we still review and update that, and you don't need to purchase or subscribe to them again. Every change is live, and you may access at the time of your access, and then it is the latest update. And I strongly recommend you against not to use the unauthorized copy, because they are often old and doesn't contain the latest change. Okay, so if you want to get the if you want to enroll and if you want to get the latest update, please go to my Udemy and subscribe to our courses. They are regularly updated, and therefore every time you access, you see the latest version. You don't need to purchase again or do something else. So just like at some time, it is just $9.99 for lifetime access and regular update. Okay, I think it's a good deal. Yeah, I still see another question from Ima Jerima. Okay, normally we send the recording on Monday or Tuesday, so please wait. Of course, you have the access to the recording. And second, ESG principles were incorporated into FAM 4. Yes, this is true, but not a really big change, since in FAM 4 they already include some matters of ESG, like within benchmarking or within the balance scorecard and within KPI as well. So it is really not a big change, because what it is what Sip already mentioned, and now they just rebrand or rewrite or rename some of the matters that they mentioned before into ESG. Okay, not really big one. Okay, is there any other question? Okay, thank you, Victoria. Right. So if you don't have any further question, then we may conclude this session here. And Didi, I think this is the beginning of December, and it is already almost to have the festive period. So I wish that you may enjoy the holiday with your family, and also don't forget that we may restart the revision later this month or maybe in January for March 2025. So stay tuned and keep update. Right. Wish you the best and enjoy your holiday.